Good morning, Bitcoin. As you figured out, this channel doesn't make a video every day, and it's not always in the morning. It's whenever I can make them, whenever I have time, or whenever I have something to talk about. It's not like there's a whole audience waiting for my videos anyways. Bitcoin is at almost $8,000 right now. I wanted to mention that it's up about 130% from the beginning of the year. This is the first week of January. It was at about $3,500, and it's almost 8K right now. So 127%. Congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and say it here in this video that there's probably going to be a significant drawdown, which I've been predicting for the past year. I mean, before all this, I wasn't making videos, but this is a pretty good, pretty easy, not easy, but was predicting that this was going to drop down like this to this level here. That's why I have the line. And then I said we'll see what it does. It'll probably bounce up a bit and then bounce back down somewhere. Thought that it would bounce off of this right here, but it went ahead and just blew past this resistance right here, this resistance line. You can see that it kept testing it. It broke down to here, to here, to here, to here, and then sideways action for a couple months, basically, and then dropped down. And then last week, which was pretty much yesterday, in the last few days, really, this is how it went up like this in this week. And it just blew right through the 6K pretty much resistance, 6.1, whatever you want to call it. It just jumped. It jumped right over it, and it's blown past it now. So there's your bit of a TA. Not really professional or anything. Just these are kind of easy TA points. Pretty decent, very decent growth. Like the news for the traditional market today is Dow Jones Industrial down 2%, 2.5%. You know, all bold letters. Dow Jones dropping 600, almost 700 points. Wow, crazy. All right, I'm just giving them a little bit of guff here. It's pretty much all-time highs right here, the Dow Jones Industrial. Very close to hit. You know, this is a triple top, you could say. I think it's looking to break that. So we'll see. Looking to hit 3K or 30,000 right up here. Let's do it. All right, moving on to security news. Binance got hacked for 7,000 Bitcoin, $50 million approximately a week ago. You know, probably closer to 60 million now, but they got hacked with a persistent API kind of hack, I believe. He used his Seifu funds to cover the incident in full, which is very nice. Gotta applaud that. He pretty much without question covered it with his Seifu fund, so that's good. Now, the criticism I have with this, the way he approached it, was that he thought he could reorg the chain. And this was surprising to me because I thought that he was smarter than this. And I'm not trying to sit here and flaunt my intelligence because I learn something new every day. I try to remain humble, and I just know that I don't know it all. So I'm not completely critical of this guy. I think he panicked a little bit, and he was taking advice from people that he shouldn't probably shouldn't have been taking advice from, like this guy right here. I don't know if I necessarily trust this guy. Same with this one here. I'm just going to put it nicely that I have very few people that I necessarily follow in this space when it comes to the development of Bitcoin and stuff like that. Um, I don't know it all, so um, I'm just saying I only follow a few people, and there's just a lot of people out there that have a lot of, I think, twisted views on how Bitcoin works or how it should work. You know, it's like sometimes I think people are singing the song, but they're putting their own lyrics to it. You know what I mean? Um, Anyways, I think that he believed that he could reorganize the chain to get his Bitcoin back, or I believe he thought that he could push the transaction onto the miners, and then they would get the coins instead of the thieves, which I think that he thought would have been noble, you know, like a Robin Hood kind of thing. Not necessarily a Robin Hood, but I think that's in the same mindset of how Robin Hoods think. Robin Hood thinks that you steal from the rich and give to the poor, and that's good, right? But it's like, no, you're still stealing, so it's still bad. It's like that's not really doesn't really apply here, but in a sense, I think it does. In a very small sense, the guy thought that he could reorganize the chain, and you can't. It's the most secure chain, and everyone tries to attack it. Um, yeah, I'm just it's hard to believe that he had this thought in the first place. But I respect the transparency for sure, and it's new to me because you know what we um, investors and people like that are looking from the outside in don't normally get this kind of transparency in a business. So all I can do is applaud this and pray, a little bit for the good folk because, you know, got to say a little bit of a prayer. $50 million is a lot of money. Um, and you guys got to really you got to cut out the noise when it comes to the Bitcoin space. You got to cut out the noise. There's a lot of noise out there, including myself. I mean, if you don't understand me, you think I'm misleading you, then by all means, move on to someone that will um, teach you the way that you need to be taught. Um, because this is hard, and some people just waste your time, including me. I feel like I'm wasting time. I sit here and pause for just a second, and uh, it feels like a waste of time, like I'm wasting people's time or whatever. But I want to remain truthful and as much as possible, and I want to point out where people are maybe misunderstanding Bitcoin and stuff like that. Uh, and this is one of them. One of the most respected people in the space doesn't understand how Bitcoin works. Right here, he's trying to reorganize the chain. You see, yeah, you have to understand that if he was successful at doing this, then Bitcoin wouldn't would 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 fail, and if Bitcoin failed, then everyone would fail. Everyone would stop using it. It's the reason why people use it in the first place is because you can't reorganize it. You can't roll it back. People steal from you. People take it, and it's gone. You have to you have to be able to protect it yourself. Uh, that's the simple way of explaining it. Bitcoin's blockchain is the only one that matters. All other blockchains are very questionable. They can most likely be, and I'm going to say with like a 95% certainty, they can be attacked or rolled back or whatever. So that's why they're called shitcoins, and Bitcoin is just Bitcoin. And blockchain has very small use cases in the world. And if they do have a use case, here's the thing, and this is just a belief of mine, and maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that if there are any other use cases for the distributed ledger, the blockchain, um, they'll be built on Bitcoin. Uh, so, okay, I'm gonna be done with ranting now. This is kind of you can read this yourself. I'll link the tweet, or I can't really make links here. You guys see how I do it. I have to show you the link. Tell you the person. I'll link the person on Twitter and stuff like that. But moving on. Let's play a video from Mr. Sherman in Congress. Our favorite congressman, representative in Congress. I'm kidding, Mr. Sherman's very critical of a lot of things, which I respect, not highly, but I respect that there needs to be critical people in Congress, like Mr. Sherman. Now, I think he does some things just to get people talking and just for controversy, but that's okay. Sure, that's the way Mr. Sherman does his thing. I have people that I respect in Congress, but they're definitely different, different people, and they're great. So let's see what Mr. Sherman has to say about crypto here.
I look for colleagues to join with me in introducing a bill to outlaw cryptocurrency purchases by Americans, so that we nip this in the bud, in part because not an awful lot of our international power comes from the fact that the dollar is the standard unit of international finance and transactions. Clearing through the New York Fed is critical for major oil and other transactions, and it is the announced purpose of the supporters of cryptocurrency to take that power away from us, to put us in a position where the most significant sanctions we have on Iran, for example, would become irrelevant. So whether it is to disempower our foreign policy, our tax collection enforcement, or our traditional law enforcement, the purposes of cryptocurrency, the advantage it has over sovereign currency, is solely to aid in the disempowerment of the United States and the rule of law.
Okay, so Mr. Sherman says it's for the disempowerment of the United States and the rule of law. To me, that's like a great, almost sad, but because I see it as the great empowerment of the people of the United States. It's the separation of money from the state. And it is to reduce the power of government. It's to reduce the power of people like Mr. Sherman. So I see why that he doesn't want it, and some people don't want it. He is right in a little bit when it comes to, like, some things I don't know how they're going to work. But I know that they're not going to be. I know that some things aren't intended. Like if Bitcoin is financing terrorism, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. If people are using Bitcoin to buy kids somewhere, or sell their daughters, or whatever, I don't want that to happen. I don't know how that's going to work. That's the uncertain future. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know what's going to happen. I'll tell you one thing, that Bitcoin ain't going away. And that's plain and simple. And I think it might cause a lot of people to be upset because their money is being used for, they might have, they I think they have the thought in their head that the same dollar that they have in their pocket was used to buy drugs at one point in their life. Um, and they're seeing that dollar, aka bit, or if the same Bitcoin is in their pocket used to buy a kid or used to fund terrorism, people don't want that, don't like that idea. But that's what money is sometimes money is used for evil things. And you can look at the transaction history, and see if it's been used for some kind of shady um, practices. So, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't, and I'm not going to sit here and preach. But I do know that you you can't force people to be good people. You can't force them to, like, I'm not sure what I'm saying here. You can kind of force people to be good in a sense when it comes to a police state. So I kind of promised myself I wouldn't go on and on about this because it's a touchy subject, and Mr. Sherman is a controversial person. Um, the main thing I need to say is that Bitcoin is the money of the people. It is made for the great empowerment of the people, not just of the United States, but of the whole world. And it's money that separates, like the way religion was used with the state. That's how money is kind of being used right now. It's the way I see it. So religion was separated a while ago, and for good reason, and now money needs to be separated. Um, how this is going to work, I mean, there's a few ideas out there, and like I don't want to keep rambling. This is probably video is long enough by now, but I'll link Mr. Sherman's on my Twitter when I share it. And you guys have a good day. Make sure to like and subscribe. Join the socials. Give us a donation to the Bitcoin wallet. Have a good day.